And now, the international Vienna for everyone. And now, the international Vienna for everyone.
I was very fascinated about from the fact that you lived in different countries, and I want to focus this a little bit, not just on the Viennale, but I also want to talk a little about you, because I want to focus on you as well. And you spent a lot of time in Mexico, as I know, right?
Yes.
How? What happened? What was that? 10 years?
I lived 16 years in Mexico.
16 years.
In Mexico City, based, of course, and then with engagements and other activities also in other parts of Mexico. And that happened because, when I was about to finish my university career in Bologna, I just got the chance to apply for a scholarship, and I got this chance to go to Mexico for 1 year, and then I just connected with a very special and lively situation in the cultural realm of Mexico City. Many things were happening, and I started working in a festival, and then I just got connected to that. And in the following years, I was invited again to collaborate with this festival. It was a film festival, very big. Then
Fico now, right?
No, that was Fico, a festival that eventually was discontinued. Was a very big project, as also used to happen or still happens in Mexico, and also in this Latin American landscape. A lot of efforts, economically speaking, and then of course a lack of interest after some years, because it was promoted, that event, by a commercial chain. But not to get too deep into this story, I started working there, and then I was invited some years in a row, and then eventually moved, because everything was built around that experience.
Well, since you were traveling a lot back and forth from Italy to Mexico, you said, I can as well move here, right?
Yes, and also was very promising. Also in terms of professional perspectives, the city was growing in terms of cultural events, and I started also collaborating with other activities, other festivals, and other projects that also were organized in other parts of Mexico, not only Mexico City, all related to cinema. And I became closer and closer to the academic life. I also decided to study an MA, and and
you studied anime?
An MA, and a master.
Oh, the master. I thought you said anime.
Anime, no. Even if there is a very interesting scene in Mexico, of anime.
No, I don't know that.
Yes,
true.
Spatial animation connected to, Guillermo del Toro's cinema. So his last film, Pinocchio, was made mostly in Mexico, because there is a very big school of anime, and but no, anime in art history, and so I got more connected also to other aspects of the cultural lives, the academy. Of course, the personal life also was focused.
Well, what's the story that I read about the festival that you founded there and directed for many years?
Yes, so the Ficunam that you mentioned, it's a festival that I founded. It was a project that I just proposed to the university. I mentioned now that after my first engagement with Mexico, that was connected to the university and the scholarship, I started working in the cinema field, but that festival was discontinued, was cancelled. No interesting for this commercial chain that was paying for it. And so I thought, after many years living there, that this unique institution in Mexico, with such a history and the trust of everybody and people, was the UNAM. The UNAM is a national university that is a big institution. You have to think that there are 300,000 students.
That's a lot.
That's a lot. It's a city with 2 underground stops, and a very big tradition of being very democratic and open to any kind of students with merit, but even not economic resources, and so a project that is very noble and still very powerful and resonating in all Latin American example. So anyways, me connected to this fantastic university with a big history that also is it's kind of promoting and the cultural with the different institutes that holds and the different spaces that are there, and I thought that that was the institution to connect a cinematic project to. And yeah, I proposed to do a festival that was very much in the spirit of independent cinema and art house voices and authors, with a focus, of course, on Mexican production and young voices, very much connected to the audience. A little bit, this is also the thing in common with the Viennale, and then we can talk about. But so the university, was just probably thinking about having something like that, and was amazing, and they embraced the project, and they started directing, and it's still on. It's still a very important thing.
But what put you into the movies in the first place? Have you been like a cinephile? You love movies since you were a kid, or what brings you close to movies?
Yes, I love movies as many kids since I was a kid. And
but not every kid starts one festival and directs another one.
Yes, I mean, it's a whole chain of opportunities. But of course, I loved cinema a lot, and then in my teen age time, I got closer and closer to this passionate habit of watching films, and then at the university I studied communication science, that is more the semiotic in Bologna, connected to the Umberto Eco.
Yeah.
We had a lot of.
Have you ever met him there?
Yes, of course.
You did?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, because this was the faculty he created, so of course he was always around.
Amazing.
And so that there were a lot of semiotics also applied to arts and of course cinema. And in my group of people, actually, we ended up, many of us, in a way or the other, connected to cinema, some being filmmakers and some working on the back, like I do. And so there were a lot of people making films, and I got also very, very close to that. But I never thought when I was a student that could be professional thing, no? And then Mexico opened up the possibilities, because it was in this boiling period of having a lot of events and interest, and I got connected for maybe the inner energies also, find themselves with the people who were organizing this event and many other people around cinema. So there was a chance, and then you take the chance, and that was my.
And also, I understand Viennale was also one of the chances that you took. You accepted, right, when you were invited to direct it. But that's a big, drastic change in the sense of language. Let's go for it.
Yeah.
Do you ever think for a moment, I'm moving to a country where I don't understand the word? And correct me if I'm wrong. Did you speak German back then? 2018, right?
Absolutely zero. No. Zero.
What were you thinking?
No, it was crazy, but I mean, at least that invitation just found the same, exploration impulses that I had when I also decided to move to Mexico. In this case, I knew the Viennale. I used to come every year to pick up films and to just be up to date. Living in America, I could visit some festivals in Europe, but not as many as I would have loved. And so it was an important appointment for me. And of course, I got to know the director back then, Hans Huch, who was a very big inspiration for me. And I never thought that could be any connection besides this. Then I was invited to participate in a selection process when Hans passed away, because of course he dropped down some names when he was thinking of retirement, and that was a very big surprise. So anyway, to make the story a little more concise, sure,
no problem.
I was invited, and I thought, okay, I'm feeling like also trying to reconnect with Europe in a way, because my professional life was growing. I was getting experience in Latin America. And that would be a nice training, just to know how it works, to apply to a job like this, and try to reconnect with other festivals also. Even if, of course, I'm in this network and I know many people. But so I then was invited to a talk, to an interview, and then things very quickly, change and turned to be that I was selected. So I had to take the decision in one day, and that's how
that's a very question. Short time.
Yeah, with also the Ficunam Festival just coming 3 months later, and I could not say no, because I loved and admire this festival so much. And of course, as the first question, what I'm gonna do with this language? Why are you selecting me, dear committee? As you know, I mean, in the contract was written that I would make my effort, put my efforts in trying to learn German. Of course, with all the energy, I thought it was difficult, but not as so difficult. and I thought, I take the chance. I mean, luck is with the brave. And it's just because I could not say no. Of course, that provoked so many changes in my life I could not size back then, not regretting, but just better not to know, better not to think too much over. I'm very happy about this and grateful and thankful, and I've been learning so much in this period being the director of the Viennale, you cannot imagine. And I'm still learning German every day.
No, I heard you, and one of the notes I took in the press conference when you were there and you were talking in Italian, you were talking in Spanish, you were talking in German, and you were talking in English.
Yes,
and I wanted to ask you, how many languages do you speak?
Probably not so as good as I should, but Italian, this and a little bit of French too.
A little bit of French, so it's up to 5.
Beautiful,
I'd say. Well, I will justify that because 3 of them are Latin languages, right? So let's not scare the audience why this woman speaks 5 different languages very well. What are you looking for in a film that has to come to Viennale?
Something, it's very different for case to case, but as a general criterion, I would say authenticity and a position, an idea behind. That means that I'm looking for films which have an author perspective and something to propose independently. We're talking about even a genre film or a comedy or a documentary, and because I would not say that I'm looking for something that is new or no, it's not important actually, but this is consistent and not banal, and this is this opens up many possibilities of films that of course are also trying and proposing things aesthetically and the form, and are renewing the cinematographic language, but also films that are very trustful to a big tradition of moving images, but still playing some chords and provoking something because of this consistent authenticity.
How many films are in this year's Viennale?
260.
Is it a lot? Is it normal? Is it what you do every year?
It's
what can we compare it with?
It's normal. It's in the average. It's consistent, maybe bigger than previous years. The previous years we could even during the pandemic happened physically, but of course there were some strategies to be more compact. It's now in full colors again, but this is a lot. I have to say, confess, we're making some also comparison, trying to also foresee where we are going with the festival. Say we, because I have a great team now with a lot of experience. Also, most of them have been working at the Viennale since much before me, and they know all these transitions, and they were with Hans before. And we are also making some considerations, and I mean, this year festival is going so well, and we're impressed in terms of the response of the audience. But it used to be bigger even. So comparing this with 2014, I was not here. Hans was directing it. It was a very great edition, and the venues are the same. We enlarged one, but there were even more films than today. Why I'm saying that, confessing this, not make you think that we are getting shrinking ourselves, but they're getting smaller. No,
there are not as many good films as they were.
No, because because the films are longer, and then even in is fantastic scenes that in terms of attendance we are as good as when we had much more films to propose. But films are getting longer, and this is a very interesting trend in the art house film production. We have some masterpieces that I mean they need the audience to take the time to go, like the Nuri Bilge Ceylan's film, for example, and many others. And so it's interesting, and maybe we're also leaving a little more space, more room for conversations, and even so, the room is fuller, and more fuller, yeah. And then is a very nice response. But just to answer your question, that 260 can scare the audience, but they're very well selected. Actually, try to be more compact, because I watch a lot of films. I would like to include some more, but also try to be very
selective,
and consequent.
Can we clarify a little bit? I still get a lot of questions or surprises from people that think that when they say a film festival, they think it's in one place, in one night, because from the word festival, Yeah. And can we clarify how Viennale takes place, in what cinemas, for how many days, and why is it called a festival when it takes place in several places?
Yeah, you're right. So the Viennale, it's a long festival. It's 2 weeks long. But it happens in 5 venues, main venues for these film screenings. Even so, it's a kind of unique space in my imagination and projection, because what is very special of the Viennale in comparison to other festivals is that you can really walk from one cinema to the others. And this is part of the beautiful experiences that you can have at the Viennale. And it's connected to the fact that it is an audience-focused festival. So the program is really done thinking about this encounter between the films and the filmmakers and the audience. So you can travel, now you can walk between the venues, but there are 5 that are the Gartenbaukinos, the big main room, Stadtkino and Kunstlerhaus, the Metro Kino, and the Urania, and the Film Museum.
What do you mean it's an audience festival?
It's an audience-focused festival in the sense that we do not have any particular industry activity. Of course, there are many programmers, producers, also besides the guests which are presenting the films, who are attending, but also to scout films, to pick up things. But
it's more to show films to the audience.
Yeah, the main activity is the screening in theaters, and then of course there's a talk and the other events around, including concerts and big events, because it's conceived to be a showcase for the people who are living in Vienna, for the normal audience. And of course there are other festivals of this kind, but most of the time they're mixed. You can think in San Sebastian Film Festival. San Sebastian in Spain has, of course, an important role, especially in this dialogue in between Spain and Latin America, for industry activities. And they have a lot of things and a lot of also economic resources focused on that. Also, the Venice Film Festival, the Biennale, has a soul, also an interest in showing the films to the normal audience, to the public, but there are a lot of things and activities for the professionals only.
Yeah, so to compare with other major festivals in Europe, Biennale, Cannes, Berlinale, I haven't been to them, I've only been to Berlinale, and I noticed that it's almost totally focused on the industry. So even with an accreditation, you don't really get access to a lot of things there. And people without an accreditation barely got a ticket to watch a movie. And this is to explain that that's not definitely a festival for the audience. It's more like to show the films to the industry professionals, who's the distribution companies or upcoming the emerging film directors. By the way, I met a film director from Bologna there who had his first film, and it was already in the Berlinale.
Ah.
And I think he mentioned something that he knows an Italian in the Viennale. His name is Antonio Biagini. I don't know if you know him. He's also from, you know him?
Yeah, but yes, I mean, we're not close, but yes.
Yeah. He wrote to me because his film is also not in the Viennale, but is showing in Vienna in November.
Yeah.
And he said he can come because his wife is going to give birth to a child. But I'm happy that you know him too. Looks like a great guy and filmmaker. What is something to expect from the Viennale this year, but more in entertaining part besides watching moving? What are the events, and how can people have fun?
This is an important part. Exactly.
Yeah.
As I said, as a festival is a festival for the people who are in Vienna, who live in Vienna or who are passing by, and there are a lot of the concerts, activities, and other occasions for meetings and encounters and entertainment. We have a program in our meeting point that is called the Viennale Centrale, that is set in the Museum Quartier in Kunsthalle, of concerts and also parties sometimes with prominent or special DJs to bring people together with things that also are in dialogue with cinema in different ways. Like, I don't know, Lars Heidinger is a great German Schauspieler, actor, who's a fantastic DJ, is also in the program of the Centrale.
But are these events open for everyone or just for the...
Absolutely, it's open, and what's very interesting is that it's for free. So also the music act, I mean, we do not ask for any tickets. So there's a bar, of course. If you want to drink, then
of course,
help yourself. But for the rest, it's just offered. And then, of course, there are also talks and encounters with the filmmakers who are presenting films. There are some special events we do also in collaboration with other institutions like the Rechifa Band or the Drehbuchforum Wien. So we have talks with Lisandro Alonso, Catherine Breillat, Rado Jude.
Yeah. Talking about giving out things for free, how is the difficulty of securing support has been with the Viennale? Because it's the 61st year, has been going up, down, has been stable with the partners and supporters. Right now we are an Intercontinental. I've never been here before, but it seems like a very, very nice hotel and beautiful hotel. And how do you manage all these things? Are more partners joining you, or you have the same number of partners you used to have, or you have less?
Yeah, I mean, it's... Our listener already understood. I just inherited a festival with a big tradition, and there were some main partners since much before I arrived, and they keep supporting. Of course, I have to say, yes, maybe this moves some sensitivities. The general trend in private sponsoring is a little bit declining, but this is something that interests all countries a little bit because of our economic stressing situation. And so maybe there were an epoch that was much gold than now. So we're struggling even with but we're very happy and thankful for the old sponsor who stayed. And then we find new ones every year. And this year we had, I mean, I don't want to now to mention sponsors, but we have also mobility sponsors that is new, and so that it keeps on moving interest in private sponsoring. Then we have a big support from the city of Vienna. This is what is needed to really be mentioned, because it is the most important support, and of course also the the federal government. But now there are new one appearing and maintaining. Then we have a lot of things in goods or in exchange, and they are very trustful. The people who have been accompanying us, producer of wine, local people, and that's very helpful. And Intercontinental is also the hotel since a long time and tradition. Of course, they like these energies that we're bringing, and also of course to have certain kind of guests moving around. As they have been very generous, and then a new one, and then some that also came because of me, and they have of course an Italian touch, so that's interesting. If you got the bag from the Viennale, that's an Italian brand, and then others also. We're already talking for next year. So, but if anyone is interested, just send me an email.
Well, Viennale goes on from, it started 2 days ago, 2 days ago on the 19th of October, and it's going to be going on till the 31st of October. It's all over Vienna in 5 major kinos, in cinemas, movie theaters, however you call them and you like to call them. Tickets, you can just go online. There's a link in the description as well, but just Google Viennale and that's the first thing that's going to come up. By the way, I decided that until the Viennale is over, the International has a tagline, which is Vienna for everyone. And from now on, it will, until the 31st, it will be called the International Viennale for everyone.
Beautiful. I love that.
Get your tickets. I'm about to get mine. By the way, I have to reserve my tickets before I leave.
And don't get stressed if you feel that, many, of course, already at this point, many films are sold out.
Yeah, so, I noticed that.
But not everything. There's still a lot of room. There's some waiting list, but there are a lot also films that are as important as the main slot film. And so you just move around in the website. It should be friendly, or just approach a ticket office. You can buy tickets in any of our cinemas. So there are a lot of availability and things to discover, and the festival is still long.
Do you have one title that you have a special relation with? I have one. I can say mine after yours.
I can also have so many, but I don't know. Now the festival is so long also that gives has kind of different cycles. But now I was thinking this morning, as I was reading an article on the beautiful new films by Rado Giude, who I mentioned before, because he will have also an open talk with the people at the Centrale. Rado Giude is a filmmaker from Romania who won a Golden Bear with the previous film, and has been awarded with many awards. Because he's very young, very productive, and with a long career already, but very young, say, because he's more or less my age, 40-something. And he made a very amazing film that is called, in the international title, I cannot say the Romanian one, Do Not Expect Too Much from the End of the World. It's a film starring great actors and actresses like Nina Hoss, a reference in German films, and he's just daring to experiment also in form, and in this moving from color to black and white, talking and discussing with the social media's language as well. And he will be here as a very delicious to attend the screening with him, very generous in making Q&A, and then all there are still some few tickets. It's playing at the Gartenbau Kino. Check it.
Beautiful. My favorite will be the Joan Baez documentary. I've watched it already, and I'll watch it for a second time on the 24th of October in Stadtkino.
Fantastic.
Thank you very much. It was so great talking to you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.